All right, today's video is interesting. A couple days ago, I was browsing Facebook Marketplace for old, cheap computers, as you do, and I came across something for free, an Apple computer for free. So I said, all right, whatever, cool, I'll go grab it. But what I ended up leaving with was much more than just that one Apple computer. So without any further ado, because this video is probably going to be a longer one, let's hop into it. So I apologize in advance for the potential sweat that will be happening. The disgusting sleep shirt and sleep pants I'm wearing, I'm currently doing laundry and I didn't think that far ahead. Also, these things aren't clean, so figured I'd get the shirt that I slept in last night dirty instead of putting on a new one to get that one. Let's just start. So the first one is probably the most boring of the bunch, the heaviest of the bunch, and actually the reason why I went to go pick these up. It is, oh shit, oh god, oh, it is heavy. This is an Apple XServe RAID. This is the storage only flavor of Apple's late XServe server family. See, we got some drive bays here. Some of them are popping out because it was on the floor, but they pop out just like that, and they use an IDE connection, which is kind of inconvenient for my purchasing purposes for this, but whatever. Make a cool project at some point. Missing a couple of the drive bays, but that's not really something I'm worried about, as I don't have too many IDE drives, so I'll just run them in here. This is rack mounted. You got your screws here to secure it to the rack, and then you'd bolt on the actual rails on the sides here. Now if we spin it, because I'm not lifting this, this is 60 pounds empty. 60 pounds empty. My Mac Pros, 1,1s in the other room, are 40 some odd pounds fully stocked. This is 60 empty. Goes up to 100 if it's full. We're gonna spin it and try to not destroy my table. But you can see around the back, we got a power supply here. It's supposed to have a power supply here. Redundant power supplies, as you would in the server. You don't want things going down, so if one shits the bed, the other one will pick up the load. For the purposes that I was originally planning on deploying this, I'm not too upset about there being only one power supply. Nothing super mission critical would have gone on this. Above both of these, you have these little battery modules, so we'll switch to BCAM. They're XServe RAID battery modules. They're 11 amp hours, and like the MacBook batteries of the time, they have this little button to show you they're charged. They're dead. We have two of them, so we have one on each side. Got another one here, same thing, dead, whatever. We also have our modular power supply, but not in the way you would think of modular power supplies coming from PCs. So this is 450 watt max, so you have two of these in here for 900 watts of power. And then these four slots right here are really two of two things. So we'll start in the middle where they're less interesting. These tabs, you pull them out, pull them back in, and then drag this out. And this is the fan module for the drives. This is kind of dusty up in here, but we get two of those. So I pull out the second one. See, it's the same thing, still dusty in the same spot. Not super interesting. What is super interesting, however, these are, I believe, the RAID controllers. These are what makes the, holy shit, that's a beefy connector, or a pair of beefy connectors. But these are what makes the magic happen. This is how you talk to the server. So you have a DB9 serial port. This is for like talking to a UPS. You have a gigabit Ethernet, and then you have a 2 gigabit fiber slot. Now, unfortunately, I've done a bit of research. Fiber is the only way to talk to this thing. So not super great for someone who doesn't even have Ethernet hooked up in the studio, never mind fiber. But yeah, there's two of these, one for each set of 7 drives. They're not one whole thing. You can set them up to be one RAID 0, but one controller talks to 7 drives, the other controller talks to the other 7. There is no compute in here. This is quite literally just a giant external hard drive. There's no computer in this. You need another computer to talk to this, to get it on the network, to get stuff on and off of it. So that's where the second one comes in, which we'll talk about as soon as I clear this off and blow off the table a little bit. All right, next up, still very heavy, but much less, is this. The way we actually talk to the XServe RAID, and it is absolutely disgusting. I apologize for that. But this is a Dell Poweredge 2950. This is a pretty decent server for like free. We have this little latch. We'll flip it open. We'll pull off the top. We have some serious fans with a decent amount of airflow going on here. We have over here a pair of fiber cards, which is how you talk to the XServe. And then if we undo this, tuck it in there for now, and we lift this up, we can see our very dusty dual heat sinks for our dual Xeons. I believe these are 5418, 5419, quad core each. And here we have 4 4-gig sticks and 4 2-gig sticks for a total of 24 gigs of FBDIMM DDR2. But yeah, it is prohibitively loud.
Okay, first boot. Let's blow the fuse. Oh, that's loud. Oh, that's loud. That's really loud.
I was originally going to run this in my bedroom as, you know, just kind of like my file server. Smack a bunch of hard drives in this thing and use that. One small problem is the hard drives are SAS and they are also not present. So I've tried SATA hard drives, it doesn't like them. I feel like once I get the right drives and get everything working, get Windows thrown on here, I feel like this could be the star of quite a few videos. Something a little different because servers are not in my wheelhouse. I am not a server guy. For free, figure, you know what, fuck it, I'll take it. Look forward to a couple videos on this guy. I just gotta figure out what I'm doing with it first. Well, I'm cleaning it first. This is a dusty, dusty boy. After that, I gotta figure out what I'm doing with it. But let's get this off the table and take a look at the most interesting one. The one that I really didn't anticipate to be as interesting as it is, but yeah, let's just get it off the table. And then last but not least, we have this, a very fingerprinty Dell XPS 8300. So this is quite the interesting find for me. You can tell right here, you can't see it because it's out of focus, but this is an i7. This is a Core i7 2600 quad core 8 thread for $0 and free cents. I'll take it. So let's pop the side panel off of this. Jesus, that took a lot of force. And take a look inside. So this is the inside of the XPS. We have 2 drives. One is actually a Blu-ray drive. Take this off so I don't like snap any of the clips. And then if you see right here, it actually says Core i7. And then for the actual computer, we have up here a 160 gig hard drive. I already looked at what's on it. It's blank. You got a pair of USB ports up front, card reader up front for like all the cards, SD, micro SD, compact flash, all kinds of stuff. You may be noticing that for a pretty decent spec CPU, there's no RAM and no GPU. Well, you're half right. There is a GPU, and it's this dinky little MSI N220 GT with a half height bracket on it, which I don't think fits in here properly. But yeah, this is I believe a 1 gigabyte card. Not terrible, but if we're assuming that this was built and shipped around 2010, 2011, that's not bad. And we also have no RAM, so I'm going to throw in 4 4-gig sticks of Crucial something or other DDR3, and also I'm gonna smack one of these WD Blue SATA drives in here. This SSD is going to be far faster than the 160 gig hard drive in there. We'll get the right bracket on this thing and should be a decent gaming machine. She's reassembled. It's a little dirty, but it's par for the course. But yeah, this thing really stole the show for me. This was not something I thought I was gonna actually end up getting. I thought I was gonna go grab the XServe and be on my way, but instead I got a whole server setup and what could possibly be a pretty great gaming PC. But with an i7 2600, 16 gigs of RAM, and even a dinky little 220 GT. I'd expect this to run some games definitely from the past decade pretty well. For a grand total of $0, I ended up getting a gaming PC, essentially, an XServe RAID, and a whole Dell Poweredge. And I didn't even plan on picking up any of this extra stuff. I was just going for the XServe, you know, whatever. I'll play around with it, get into some like server management, remote management kind of stuff. And then we end up with all this. Make sure you get subscribed, stay tuned to the channel, because These are all gonna show up at some point again. But the XPS is definitely the cream of the crop for this lot for me. And then I'd say the Poweredge is second, and then ironically, the reason I went to go get it, the XServe, is probably the least interesting that I got out of this lot, but I've got some playing around with these to do. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, if you feel the video deserves a like, be sure to hit the like button. I appreciate every single one of you that do. And if you really like this kind of content, why not get subscribed? It's free, you can always undo it later, and it means the world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next video.